Hey everybody, and welcome to the first episode of this new series I'm going to be starting, where I go out and find random records to listen to. Uh, this is like the intro episode where I'm going to be doing like a little gear overview, I guess. Um, it's nothing really crazy. I have a Audiotechnica LP60 turntable. I mean, it's like $100 or something. I got it like 5 years ago, and only recently am being a little bit more serious about music. So I bought a Shit Magni 3 Plus. I just got it off Amazon. It was, I believe, $120. And the thing that really ties this all together, the Hi-Fi Man HE400 SE headphones that um, being my first pair of, I guess, audiophile headphones, they're awesome. I really don't know what else to say. They sound amazing. Uh, Being able to listen to music this clearly is really interesting, and I did some back-to-back comparisons between what I have been using for like the past, I don't even know, like 5 years. Just these SteelSeries Arctis 7 wireless headset, just because I like to play video games. So I had those, and I never really gave like a second thought to my audio. I like to listen to music a lot, and I like a lot of different types of music, but I don't know why I never just thought about like audio quality or trying to get things to sound as nice as possible. But this really has uh, changed the game for me because uh, everything just sounds so much better. Even though I am playing out of a $100 turntable with uh, the built-in preamp and the cartridge that came with it, that if this is going to be any more serious, that's those two are definitely going to be the next things I buy. I have the headphones are pretty hard to power, so I have the Magni like all the way turned up on the low gain setting uh, to get it to like a decently loud uh, listening volume. But if I want it any louder, I have to switch to the high gain setting, and there's just a lot more noise and interference when you're on the high gain setting. So I prefer to keep it on the low gain and keep it at a decent listening level. Uh, and that's another thing that could be improved if I had a better cartridge or a better preamp that I didn't have to have the volume maxed out on this thing to, or the needle maxed out on this thing to get it anywhere. So I was able to pick up the Hi-Fi Man headphones from headphones.com for about $130. They had a sale, like an end of year sale going on. And that puts this whole system under $400, which, I mean, when you think about like how most pairs of headphones cost well above that, or like audiophile headphones and uh, cables that get as expensive as headphones do. This is a really cheap setup, and it sounds amazing. The best way I can describe going from $90 wireless headphones to the Hi-Fi Man HE400s, it's like uh, if you're listening to it out of those headphones, it sounds like they're taking the music. Like, let's say that, like, if the music was a physical object and they took the music and they kind of like squished it down and then try to like smush it in your ear, and that's how you're hearing the music. And like going to these, like all the music is coming at you, you know. um, Pause. It's not coming at you, it's you hear it more, you know. And yeah, that's the easiest way I could describe the difference. And it's hard to like imagine how better audio quality sounds if you're not used to it like that. If you already have like this set standard and then all of a sudden you experience this, um, it's just something else. So yeah, I definitely encourage everyone to try, at least like if you know someone that has a pair of really nice headphones, give it a shot. It sounds awesome. Um, yeah, and another thing I noticed is that everything is so much clearer, even on like a paper thin vinyl. You know, I can hear uh, one word that I would always hear a lot of people use in reviews and stuff like that is like instrumentation. And yeah, it's true. Like you hear each individual instrument. It's not like they're all on a flat plane and they're all trying to fight for like this sound, right? So, and uh, I have a suspicion that a lot of people get the words mixed up on songs because of poor audio quality. And I noticed that like doing back to back tests between the two, um, again, like I mentioned, where it's not like the drums, the guitars, the vocals, the everything is fighting for your attention in this little tube of music that's coming through, right? Uh, Everything has room to breathe and everything has its own, space. So you hear everything. Vocals sound a lot clearer. Uh, Drums have a character to them. Hi hats sound clean. It just sounds great. Like never having listened to something like that before, it was really cool. And that brings us to the first uh, album that I picked up for this series. Uh, I was looking for something else at the time when I went into this local record store, and this caught my eye. Like the second I walked in there and started looking, it's Bruce Cockburn, "Stealing Fire," and yeah, it was just funny because guy's name is Cockburn, and album is a guy eating fire. You know, that's Bruce on the back. This is released in 1984. He's an old man now, and he kind of looks like Joker from Full Metal Jacket to me. Uh, yeah. So when I picked this up, uh, I was so excited. I was like, "Oh yeah, this could be the start of the series." And I get in the car and I'm on the drive home, and I'm like, you know what? Let me just start to listen to it. Let me just see what it's about. I thought it would be interesting, but it's also in really good condition. The what is this made out of? Cardboard? I don't know. The cardboard sleeve is really nice. The inside sleeve with all the lyrics on it's nice. The record has no marks on it or anything, and it was only $4. So that's another goal I'm trying to go for. I'm trying to keep everything as cheap as possible, because I don't have a lot of money, you know. So yeah, like the setup being $400, I don't have $400 to spend on a single pair of headphones. So why not get a decent pair that sound really good? And then I'm also not looking to spend $30 on an LP every week. So on the drive home, I decided to give this a listen, and to my surprise, I thought it sucked. Uh, you know, when I first turned it on, I was like, it just sounds like a '70s pop album, and I wasn't a huge fan, even though I like all different kinds of music. It's just not what I was looking for, I guess, and I think that kind of disappointed me. So yeah, I was kind of sad, and I wasn't even gonna give it another listen until I got home and I was like, you know what? I spent $4 on it. What's the big deal? I'll go ahead and listen to it. And I was surprised again because after listening to it on vinyl, out of nice headphones and not my car speakers, I was like, it's not that bad. It's okay. Um, the first half of the album is definitely a lot stronger than the second half of the album. Um, Bruce Cockburn, if you didn't know, he's a huge activist. So Bruce, he's a huge activist, and he wrote this album while he was in Nicaragua and Guatemala. Uh, he wrote about like the things he experienced or the things he would see there with like people being mistreated, and I don't want to say too much. YouTube strike me down for talking about domestic terrorism, but yeah, not a lot of good stuff going down there, and he saw that, and I guess he was inspired by it. He has a lot of not a lot, but he has some Latin influences on this album. Like flamenco guitar and or like Nahuatl chanting or whatever going on in the background. So, um, that is nice to see. I guess it's nice to see that people are paying attention to stuff and doing something about things. He has a song on this album called why am I raising it like I'm trying to show you? You guys can't read this. Called "If I Had a Rocket Launcher." It's a very short song, and he just talks about how kids being unalived, and how if he had a rocket launcher, he'd blow up I guess, the Venezuelan helicopters that come by and terrorize people. So, very admirable of him. And I think I read he said in an interview one time that this isn't like a call to action; it's a cry to help. So, yeah, very admirable of you, Bruce, Mr. Cockburn. Um, Unfortunately, the second half of the album is very intense. That's where a lot of the it goes from being like, ooh, a fun pop album to you know it, kids being unalived. So yeah, I think the album kind of falls off in the second half. The first half of the album, twangy guitars, nice little punchy drums, synthesizers every now and then and then we go to blowing up helicopters. So um, yeah, I think, and from what I read online, that's kind of the same sentiment everyone else had. Uh, I'm glad I gave it another listen because I actually really liked Sahara Gold on the first half of this album. The song has like a cool little flamenco guitar intro and just really great vocals out of Bruce. I think the best vocals on this album, even though other songs on here are bigger. Like I think the first song is one of his most popular, "Lovers in a Dangerous Time." I mean, listen to that. It sounds like a pop song, and that's what it is. So I mean, when it tries to do that, it does it very well. And but when it tries to be more serious, that's when it's like, oh man, yeah, it just doesn't sound that great. Um, but yeah, pretty good. I think the kind of philosophy that I have with this series is that someone thought this was worth printing at one time, so why not give it a listen and see what it's about? And yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with my second listen of it, and I actually quite enjoyed it. So, if you were to listen to any songs, I would listen to Sahara Gold and Lovers in a Dangerous Time is also a really popular one. If you haven't heard it, it's pretty good. But Yeah, good job, Bruce. So when I picked up this album, I wasn't looking for anything specific. I was just trying to, find something interesting, something that looked interesting. But I think next time I go looking, I think I'm going to be a bit more intentional with the things I'm looking for, I guess. Like maybe next time I'll go in looking for a jazz album or something that where I get to explore music a little bit and have not have my expectations like completely out of left field or something. So um, yeah, uh, go ahead and tell me what you thought of Stealing Fire if you listened to it, and if you guys have any other recommendations or things I should be looking for, things signs of a good record, I guess, if people want to share their tips. Because I was kind of bummed at first when I picked it up and I was like, oh man, I don't really like it. So, um, yeah, I'll see you guys next time.